Welcome back to the Sober Sofa. My name is Shanti Patty Owen. I am your host for this channel where we discuss all topics related to addiction and sobriety. I was an 80s model, stay-at-home mom, was a legal secretary for 6 or 7 years, and for the last 8 years, I have been working in the addiction recovery field as a sober coach and a sober companion. The topic of this video is OnlyFans, or OnlyRegrets. Once those photographs and videos are out there on the internet, they're out there forever. I am a sex addict, love addict, an alcoholic, a compulsive gambler, and a debtor. I've been asked to talk about this by a few people, as a matter of fact. And since it does relate to sex addiction, I thought it was a good time to start talking about it because many young women have fallen prey to the titillation, excitement, and the promise of big money. And none of it has happened for them. There are many OnlyFans women who have committed suicide because of what has happened to them. I will be discussing how OnlyFans girls or prostitutes, how it relates to sex addiction in a little while. But I first, and the reason I'm qualified to talk about this is because I have a sex addiction, and my addiction ultimately led me into prostitution. So I'm not judging anybody, but I'm here to give some facts and some scary statistics. The initial excitement was for the big money. There are many women who have their OnlyFans page who are celebrating the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars that they're making. But this is highly inflated. What's happening is, if, for instance, you have an OnlyFans page, you can invite other women. They get a referral fee. So say, for instance, I had an OnlyFans page and I invited a few of my friends in and I got a referral fee because I brought them into the platform. I would get 5% of all of their earnings for the first year, and they cap it at $50,000. So what happens is, and I can tell you this from experience, not necessarily the experience I had with prostitution, but I was involved in a network marketing business for a while, and we were always told that when we spoke to a group of people, we inflated the amount of money we were making. We told them how exciting it was in order to get them to join, because the more people that would join, we would get a percentage of their earnings. This is exactly what's happening with OnlyFans. There are very few women who are making those hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. They're oftentimes celebrities or they are influencers. These people already have a very widespread network. These young girls who don't have these big networks of followers are starting an OnlyFans page, and the average pay for someone on OnlyFans is about $200 a month. And it's a lot of work. I can tell you, when I first got onto social media, I didn't do so as a business, but I did notice some people just seem to have millions of followers. And I wasn't interested in doing that. But when I asked them how they did it, and they told me how much work was involved, and they said, oh, we work 15, 16-hour days. So I think what is happening with these young women, and by the way, there are also senior women who do this. There are men who do this, but I'm going to refer to it mostly as girls, and I'll tell you why. There's much more of a stigma for women to do prostitution than there is men. So what's happening is that these girls are offering naked pictures, pornographic videos, and they're getting $100, $200 a month for that. And after a few months, they realize it's not worth it. But here's the problem. Once those photographs and videos are out there on the internet, they're out there forever. They can never be taken down. Even if somebody closes their OnlyFans page, one of their fans can easily videotape and circulate them in other areas. So it is so dangerous. There's no way they can change that reputation about themselves. Their families have found out. their children have found out. And I personally, just in my research, have found a few women who committed suicide. I'm sure it's far more than just a few women. They don't call it prostitution or sex work. They say content creator or model and performer instead of porn star. Changing the verbiage makes it seem so much more socially acceptable. This is very dangerous. OnlyFans skyrocketed in 2020 during COVID when people were not meeting other people in person. So now I'm going to talk about how prostitution, OnlyFans girls, sex workers, however you want to couch it, how this can quite possibly be related to sex addiction, because I have a sex addiction. Now, when I was in my 20s, I would never have considered prostitution. But the way my sex addiction looked in my 20s is I cheated on all of my boyfriends. Painful. And the way it looked in my 40s was I became very promiscuous in between quote unquote monogamous relationships. All addictions are progressive. You might start off drinking, maybe 2 or 3 drinks a night. And as time goes on, you're going to have a bottle or 2 a night. And then you're going to start drinking in the afternoon and then the evening. And then you start drinking in the morning because you get the shakes. I think you get where I'm going with this. So there are a large majority of women in the porn industry, prostitution, sex work, OnlyFans, who have sex addiction. Now, I have a lot of compassion for these women because I'm one of those women. I did do sex work, prostitution for a few years in my early 50s. And here was my thinking. And I know a lot of young women think the same thing with OnlyFans. I thought, I'm going to make big money fast. Now, I will tell you, I did make big money because I was not doing OnlyFans. I was doing in-person prostitution, and it was a cash transaction, and I did make quite a bit of money. But I also loved the attention, the validation I got. If you go onto YouTube, what they're talking about, what they love is all the attention they're getting from men. What they don't talk about as often is how badly they are feeling after several months. It doesn't take several years. After several months, even though they might have a high libido and this seems fun to them for a while, they start feeling bad about themselves because they have to spend probably 10 to 15 hours a day promoting themselves, meeting with clients. They have to swim in their sexual energy because this is what the guys are looking for. They want to be turned on. And the women start to lose their self-respect. I mean, that is finally what did happen to me after a few years of doing prostitution. I didn't do it a lot. I'm not making an excuse. My parents were elderly. They needed a lot of care, and I needed a job that had big money fast. So that is exactly why I got into it. But if I was not a sex addict, I doubt very much I would have ever considered something like this. And talk about progression. My second husband, ex-husband, was very much interested in a lifestyle of swinging and sex parties. I resisted it for quite some time, but then I finally accepted it. He said, I need to do this so I don't cheat on you. Well, then I got used to that. So for me to make that step into prostitution, I was already having a lot of sex with a lot of people with my husband. So for me to just take that extra step to make money doing what I was already doing didn't seem like a big leap. So that's what I'm talking about, the progression. You know, you're not going to find some girl who's a virgin and knows very little about sex all of a sudden going to have an OnlyFans page. Whether you are someone who has a sex addiction or not, I would encourage you not to start an OnlyFans page. You can never get those photographs or videos off the internet, ever. And spend some time watching some videos on YouTube of OnlyFans girls who have quit and really listen to their deep regrets. Even though I didn't have an OnlyFans page and there are no photographs or videos of me out there having sex, I still have to tell a man that I'm considering dating, that I have had a history of prostitution. If he's a very traditional conservative guy, I doubt very much he's going to accept that aspect of myself. So please, please reconsider your desire to create an OnlyFans page. It's only going to be an only regret. Thank you so much for returning to the Sober Sofa. And for all of you who have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much, or for hitting the bell notifications and thumbs up to my video. Also, thank you so much for forwarding my videos to people you think could use them. And to the person, and you know who you are, who strongly suggested I do a video on OnlyFans. I appreciate it. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to share, my email is sobersofa@gmail.com, sobersofa@gmail.com, or please leave a comment in the comment section. That will help everybody. I very much encourage you all to do that. I look forward to seeing you back at the Sober Sofa.